no, I don't like this album.
You don't? Not at all? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the New Music Podcast. We've got 5 albums for you this week, some quite eclectic range of albums as well. Micah, do you want to let them know what albums those are? Also, before you do, I do want to mention there is timestamps for each one below, so if you want to skip to a certain one, absolutely feel free at this point. Let them know what the list is, Micah.
We have Don Toliver with Hardstone Psycho, and then we have Ulcerate with Cutting the Throat of God. Very, very clean, good Christian album. Out of them I can expect. And then we have Parannoul and Fax Gang with Scattersun. Jesus
Bit of a
Christ.
mouthful.
And then we have Thou with Umbilical, which actually released 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Yeah, I think around there.
I had mentioned it in our episode.
Yeah, you mentioned it in the intro of one of the episodes, and I believe my response was, oh, maybe we should tack that onto a slower week. And it's a slower week, so here we are.
And then we have Boy $sign with New World Depression.
You know, it's probably good that you said their name like that, because I do feel like I'm going to have to censor it every time we say their name.
I always say it like that. I've been saying it like that for 10 years.
You know what I mean, though? It's like, I don't know, like, because the algorithm also might be like, oh yeah, that's the name of an artist, but it might not be, and I'm not sure that's a risk I'm willing to take.
The algorithm.
Yeah. Alrighty though, that's our 5 albums for the week. Yeah, quite a few
No
genres. No EPs this time around. We got an EP next week because something dropped literally just today from King Krule, but that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and
No, it's there.
It is there. It does exist and everything. Let's go ahead and run into Don Toliver's Hardstone Psycho.
In a club with some wines and a pipe down. Ooh, damn. 4x4. We back. The boy going wild and the box start shaking. Them hoes coming in and they coming in.
Yes, sir. What are your thoughts? Give your thoughts first.
My thoughts on this, I think that it's a pretty interesting blend of the psychedelic trap and some of the like rock and metal influence that we've seen in the mainstream trap scene over the last, like 4 to 5 years. It's some elements kind of coming together. There's going to be parts of this that remind everyone of Travis Scott. That's the most clear influence for sure, who is also featured on 2 tracks. This kind of feels like Don Toliver's Whole Lotta Red as well, with kind of the aesthetics of everything. He's got this whole like biker thing going on with it, and then there's some songs that use like heavier guitars. I think it's a fun album. I think there's quite a bit of mid on it, but I also think that there's some like unbelievable bangers on here. How do you feel?
Oh no, I don't like this album.
You don't? Not at all?
No, I don't like Travis Scott.
Okay.
I don't like Whole Lot of Red.
Oh yeah.
and I don't like Don Toliver, which is weird because I hear like it should be doing something. I'm just sitting there going, oh, how long is this album? 51 minutes? Fuck!
Oh, really? So the length of it was kind of an issue for you?
Just because I didn't like it straight out the gate. I know it's broken up into 4 discs.
Right.
I think I got to track 3, and I was like, oh, brother, no.
Brother Stone, brother, no.
Oh my god, I kept forgetting this album. I had to like listen to it potentially not the most because I listened to Thou the most because I've been hearing it for 3 weeks, but I had to listen to this one the most because I kept forgetting it.
Okay. I don't think it's one of the more forgettable ones this week, but I think it definitely has some of the most forgettable songs. I'll say that much. When I'm actually running this front to back, there's multiple tracks, most of them being on the 4th disc and the 3rd disc that I'm just like whatever with. Like they just kind of come and go, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Do you have any songs that you liked better than the others, I guess?
This might just be because I didn't like it right away, but I felt like the first 2 tracks were the best tracks. I still don't like any of it.
Okay.
And then like as it progresses, I just feel like it just gets worse and worse and worse. If I had to single out a track, it's one of the tracks on the 4th disc. I can't remember the track names. I didn't write them down. I kept forgetting to.
As a favorite, you would pick out on the 4th disc?
No, a least favorite.
Least favorite? Okay.
Yeah, Last Laugh was my least favorite.
Last Laugh? Okay, yeah, that's totally fair. Thinking about it right now, even though I've listened to this album like at least 4 times, I can't remember how Last Laugh sounds, so I think that's fine. As far as the fourth disc goes, I think Hardstone National Anthem is one of the better songs on this album, though. I woke up with that one stuck in my head this morning. I think it's catchy. I think it's good. You're definitely right about the first 2 tracks being great. Kryptonite's beat switch is a little bit iffy to me. I feel like that could have been executed a tiny bit better, but then Tore Up is pretty inarguably one of the best songs here.
Yeah, Tore Up was the only one where I wasn't like wanting to turn it off like immediately.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel so bad because I feel like this should be like a bag I have, but it's just not.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I don't think you've really listened to a lot of the psychedelic trap stuff, right?
I went through and listened to some Travis Scott just to see if I would like it.
Oh, okay. And you're
I
just
tried so
not
hard.
really messing around with it.
No, it's not my vibe.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of good memories, I'd say, listening to Astroworld and stuff, but I don't really come back to all that much. I don't know though. I mean, like ASAP Rocky kind of started that whole thing off. You're a fan of him, right?
I love A$AP Rock.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, maybe this is something you're not you haven't gotten around to getting accustomed to, I guess, but I still think it's all right. Like, I'm not mad that you hate this by any means. I think that it's totally fine, and like I'm not loving every moment of this. There's just songs that I love. How about Purple Rain? Did you mess around with Purple Rain at all?
No.
Oh, really? That's the Future song.
I know it had Future and Metro Boomin on it, and I still didn't like it.
Basically like an extension of the last 2 Future Metro Boomin albums. I think that if it was on the second one, it would be one of the better tracks on it, personally. I really love how that...
Really?
Yeah, no, I think that one's
Whoa.
great. I think that Don kind of does his thing over this beat. I think that the beat is fantastic. And then, Future just thrives in this environment as well. Like, everybody's just kind of clocking in for work on that one. Other than that, I really liked 4x4, and then Backstreets could have been amazing, but I think it's just good. I just wish Tizo had a bigger part in it.
Yeah, I'm actively looking up all these people too, as like we're talking about them. So
Oh.
I dove a little bit. I think I dove a little bit into Kodak Black. A lot of it in the Travis Scott, and I'm just
No. Don't even bother with Kodak. I'm sorry. You know what? We're both going to go hater mode real quick. Fuck Kodak Black. I do not like his inclusion on that, because as he does on like every feature verse, he's just saying some of the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. Like the lines that he lays down there. I mean, his flow's all right, but Christ, I mean, saying "you are not my boss" just feels like something a child would say. Like, I don't like his vocal tone either. His actual tone of voice has always reminded me of like Great Value Lil Wayne. Just no on that whole song. Like, that one I could definitely do without. That one would probably be a skip for me each time, but other than that, feel like I can turn this on and just kind of vibe with it. But it's totally all right that you're not loving it all that much. You got anything else to say on it?
Don Toliver, not good.
Can't be doing all that. It's not our thing.
No. I look at the album of the year as we talk about it, and I plug in my score first, and God damn it, dude. No. Melon, you're supposed to love this. I was gonna be the hater of this week.
Yeah, no. He's
What
particularly
the fuck,
disliking this. And his statement here, just this sum up of the review, it says Travis Scott ran so Don Toliver could walk. I do kind of feel that, but I think that this is Don Toliver hitting his stride a little bit, and I think he could improve from here even more. I went ahead and went with a 69 on this.
Nice.
How about you? Nice.
I went with a 45.
45. All right, just kicking off the episode on hater mode. Let's fucking go.
Hater week.
All right. Yep, that might get people angry, but then again, my Kodak Black comment probably will make people even more angry.
I looked at his album of the year page. It's all red, dog. I think you're fine.
That's fair. All right. Let's move on to Ulcerate, Cutting the Throat of God.
Speaking of all red, this album cover, what is happening on it?
It's so cursed. Really matches the Christian Minecraft server energy this album's got going on.
Yes, sir.
Gotta be playing this at the daycare.
For real. This is actually, wow, people really fucking like this album. What the hell?
Oh yeah, no, everybody's loving it quite a bit. Yeah, I don't know. I think that we have a lot of people checking it out that like aren't metal fans, I guess. And I say that just because it's such a slow week. I feel like people just kind of went to whatever the next most popular thing is. So I think we probably have a bunch of people on here who aren't metal fans checking this out, and then maybe they're kind of more blown away by it than someone who typically listens to more metal would be. But then again, I guess looking down here, you have a lot of publications that are very familiar with metal giving this good scores. So
I felt like it was good, but it wasn't like, okay, I'm just gonna go look at the the metal dick writers really quick.
yeah, not that many perfect scores, not as many as you'd expect.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was gonna say, I was like, I think this is good, but like, I was expecting to see like everybody giving this 100 in the critic side. It's just getting 9s and 8s, and I feel like that's a lot more grounded than like
Yeah, that's pretty
I would
grounded.
expect to see.
I'm not gonna argue with that. I don't agree, but I wouldn't argue. I guess that's how I'd put that.
You don't agree with 8s and 9s?
The 8 is definitely not far off, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I wouldn't give it a 9, but I wouldn't argue with it being near perfect.
No, it's not.
Just because it's doing the thing. It's checking the boxes. It sounds fucking evil. I'll totally give it that. Like, this is a demented sounding album, but it's also demented sounding and pretty much the same sound for 57 minutes. Which I don't know how to feel about.
Yeah, it's not one riff, unfortunately, so you can't call it nu metal or stoner metal.
Yeah, right.
The classification is dissident death metal,
And technical death metal.
atmospheric sludge metal.
Atmospheric sludge metal is an interesting one. I can't see.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Can't say that I've
What's it? What kind of atmosphere?
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things you could kind of classify as that. But this is a total side tangent here. I was thinking about this. I hate how specific metal subgenres are. It's like you can get one album and it's its own subgenre now. Like what?
This isn't depressive black metal from my mom's basement. This is depressive black metal from my mom's closet. Clearly, you uncultured swine. That's all I hear, basically.
I feel like anytime there's even a slight switch in sound, metal fans are just like, oh, this is a new genre now. It's like, no, people can kind of innovate a little bit within the same subgenre, right? Like, it seems weird to me. I've never liked that whole classification thing going on with metal music.
Yeah, I don't fucking know, man. Just because your guitar is slightly out of tune doesn't mean you're new, you're different.
Yeah, and for something that is, as the tag would imply, dissonant, I think that this comes together pretty harmoniously, and I think that this is very impressive. I'll totally give it that. Like, this sounds great at every twist and turn. Again, 57 minutes of music, and it all sounds great.
This is a really good year for metal, like, honestly.
That's true, because I do feel like in the past few years, if this came out, I would be like, wow, this is a great metal album in particular, but I think we're getting spoiled.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, because I'm kind of just okay with this. I will say, though, I wish that I had a better opportunity at some point this week to really sit down and sink into it and not pay attention to any lyrics, not try to analyze it, just like sit there with it, because I've done that with portions of the album, and I do think that it's the best thing you can do with it.
Yeah. No, I managed to give this album the time of day because I didn't have to give a ton of thought to Thou. I think I still even have my like review in album of the year website.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I do.
Right, yeah. I mean, I was listening to really heavy albums back to back between this and Thou, so it was just kind of like, all right, what do I want to absolutely destroy my ears with this morning?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It does just kind of feel like one very consistent sound, especially for the first like 3 or so tracks. And then, honestly, that might even come to a peak with the 5th one. But I will say that the 6th and 7th tracks won me back over a little bit. I think that Undying as an Apparition has the most interesting elements to it. That one has some of the harshest vocals. It has some of the strongest contrast. contrasts between sections where you have some slower and some heavier sections. And there's like a very distinct, like, dramatic and climactic point in that track that feels pretty cathartic. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
And then the closer was just heavy as shit, and it just seemed like a good way to end it off. So
They were doing. They came prepared.
yeah,
They all their ducks were in a row.
yeah. I mean, like, I will say that this. I mean, it's just good. Like, and I can't really say anything else about it. It's just pretty good.
If you like metal, you'll like this. If you don't like metal, you still might find this appealing.
I honestly think that if you don't like metal, you will absolutely hate this.
Really?
I don't know. I mean,
Oh yeah, if you don't like metal, I guess, yeah.
yeah, like, this is not an entry album.
I don't know. I'm just fucking desensitized.
Yeah, right, for sure.
I grew up listening to fucking Dying Fetus with you and shit.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It doesn't sound like a toilet bowl. It must be good.
That's true. Yeah, I do feel like with a lot of music that's this heavy, you do lose some of the production value and lose some of the, like, separation between instruments and maybe just some of the technical skill. And I think that they really have a lot of that going for them. I'll totally give it that.
Sure.
I don't know. I feel like I should have more to say.
It's an unfortunate week.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, I don't know, man.
It's good.
We're gonna have this same conversation about another album in a few minutes.
Oh, you think so? All right. Well, we'll get there
Slightly
eventually.
different.
We'll get there eventually. What did you end up with for a score on this? And as long as we don't have anything else to say, I guess.
No, I don't. I landed on a 78.
I know 75 with this. So yeah, I guess we're pretty much on the same page. It's good. I wouldn't recommend against it, but I just don't know when I see myself coming back to it.
I don't think I would. I would just go listen to the future album.
I see. Okay. All right. Parannoul and Fax Gang, Scattersun. Are you at all familiar with either of these artists?
Nope.
Okay, cool. I have loved one album from both of them. With Parannoul, that would be last year's album that I am blanking on the name of. And then Fax Gang, I really love the album Aethernet. So I was pretty excited to see them collab, but as somebody who's unfamiliar, what are you feeling about this? Do you like it?
Yeah, I do like it, but I don't love it. I was like, it's pretty good.
Right. You know, honestly, I'm kind of on the same page, oddly.
This is my one album of the week where I'm just kind of like, hey, this is pretty good. All right.
Yeah, right. I think that it sounds very good at every twist and turn of it. Kind of like the last album in that way. But I do think that, you know, I mean, Fax Gang has 6 members, I believe. And then Parannoul is a one-man band that sounds like a band of like 20 people. So, I mean, if you have one person that equals 20 people and then 6 people who are like cloud rap, crazy experimental group, whatever, I think you kind of run into a too many cooks in the kitchen type situation with this one.
Yeah, I would definitely have to like agree. It's just kind of like it doesn't feel like, not finished isn't the right word. It feels like, yeah, this is like, you know, the album's done cooking, you know, but it looks like they cooked in everything pizza. No, not everything pizza. Better analogy, and everything cake. Everything shouldn't go in cake.
Yeah, right.
But like everything's pretty good. Yeah.
I would say that certain songs, even on their own, just sound like multiple songs squished together. And when that happens, I'm just kind of like, okay, but what do I walk away from this song thinking?
You don't.
You don't?
You don't. It takes away your ability to think. You are now lobotomized. Lobotomy era.
Lobotomy era. This does kind of lobotomize me. I feel like when I try to focus on this album, it just kind of, I float away a little bit. Like, it's just there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm focusing on this for the first track, and then it just, I'm just not anymore after that sometimes.
Yeah, this shit just kind of like eats me.
Yeah, right. And it's not in a bad way, but it's not in one of the better ways that I would say.
It's not comfy. It's not like comfy, ooh, yeah, I want to be eaten. It's,
oh God.
oh God, I guess this is okay.
You really could have phrased that better.
But okay. What I do?
Did you not just say, "Oh yeah, ooh woo, you wanna eat me"?
No.
All right. Anyways,
No, I didn't.
this is a good album to vacuum to.
No, pause. No, dude, my mic had to have cut out somewhere in there or something, because, like, that's nowhere even close to what I actually said. I'm crying.
You know, that's just
Oh
what
my
I
God.
got. That's just what I was walking away from that hearing. Unfortunately.
Let's just cut it regardless.
Yeah, we'll
That's
do.
not what
Oh no.
Fucking what? I can't breathe.
Breathe,
Oh, breathe.
breathe. This is a good album to vacuum to. I don't mean anything in particular by that. I just mean that I was vacuuming this morning and I'm like, oh, this is kind of hitting.
Yeah, I was taking out the trash this album today, and it was just kind of like, what the fuck? Don't take out the trash this album. Do vacuum to this album.
Yeah, vacuum with it and then like just make sure your headphones are up really high because otherwise you'll hear the vacuum. But you know, as long as you do that, then it's pretty solid. I don't know, something about getting rid of dust while I'm listening to this just kind of slaps. But you know, sometimes listening to your favorite albums while you're vacuuming, you just find things out about the album that you didn't mean to find out. You know?
Yeah, I guess. So you're calling this one of your favorite albums?
Yeah, sure. No. I'm just saying that it changes your perspective. So there's that. I think Lullaby for a Memory is probably the best song on here. I don't think that's a hot take. That one's pretty whimsical, pretty magical. I do like the climactic ending to it as well. It's pretty blissful.
Oh yeah, blissful, whimsical,
whimsical, magical, ethereal. Gotta bust out the thesaurus. Hold on.
The thesaurus.
The thesaurus. That's a hard word. Give me a break. But do you have a favorite track on here that you want to specifically point out?
Oh fuck! You want me to pick out a favorite track on this? Jesus Christ! I don't know. The first track is really good. Little Life from Memory is really good, and then I really like Wrong Signal too.
Solid.
I gave you a 3.
Okay, yeah. Wrong Signal, that's the second one, right? Yeah, I think that Wrong Signal is one of the better examples of them mixing this, like, cloud rap, kind of harsh noise rap shoegaze thing with Parannoul's style of shoegaze. Like, it comes together pretty seamlessly there, but at the same time, it feels more like a Fax Gang song than a collaboration, so take that for what you will, I guess.
Yeah, I'd never heard either before this.
You should definitely go check them both out because they're both great, and I feel like this is like the least accessible thing that either of them who are already not very accessible have done. So it's not really a great hopping on point, but I don't know. I just, God, dude, this is like a weirdly good sounding collaboration for how it ended up. Because I see those names and I'm like, wow, that's going to be a 10 out of 10. Like, that's going to be a amazing album. But I really feel like there's just so much overstimulation happening here.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I really feel like there's more things to be said, but I just don't know what they are. Actually not hearing the album in my ears. You know?
It's been a crispy week on top of it.
Oh, that's so true. Like, yeah, honestly, I feel like my ears are broken. It's kind of hard to know what to say about, like, some sort of crazy ethereal shoegaze noise thing happening here. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
although I do want to say, given that, I think this could grow on me. I think that if I happen to turn it on at the right time, this might be better than I'm saying it is right now. Because, like I said, I feel like I absolutely should be loving this. And if I pick out any particular point, it sounds pretty amazing. But I just think listening to it in its entirety leaves a tiny bit to be desired, even though I do still like it. Do you have any other thoughts on it?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, fair. Would you end up scoring it?
I gave it a 70.
70? Okay. I give it a 79. Yeah, I think we can move on to Thou Umbilical now. So you said that you've been listening to this one for a minute now. What do you think of it?
It's really good.
Yeah, anything like specific you want to mention about it?
So, thou fucks, dude.
Yeah, really.
God damn. I was listening to this shit and it's just fucking grimy, stinky fucking riffs for the next 48 minutes, and how that's too short. And a little sample they have in the beginning where I'm just like, ooh, my little eardrums. What's happening? It fucking fuck yeah.
It doesn't really let up. Like, it is just so brutally heavy the whole way through. And I think that's the best thing they could have done. Checking out a little bit around this band, really just seems like they're doing this whole, like, super uncompromising, super heavy, just aggressive, nihilistic sound the whole time. It's really cool. They do manage to sound a little bit unique and stand apart from the crowd, I think. Mostly just in how, like, brutal it is. You know what I mean with that?
Yeah, it's just fucking crunchy, dude.
It's so crunchy.
Yeah, dude, and like the fucking what do you even call them? The gutturals on here.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just mixed in a lot nicer than a lot of other sludge metal, which isn't high bar
For
in the
sure.
first place. But it's just nice to see it mixed well.
Yeah, the vocals in here are mixed really well. I think that their production, just in general, here sounds fantastic. Like, it's all really nicely balanced out, you know?
It's nice that they care.
Right. I feel like both metal albums we looked at this week, it is nice that they cared about the mixing, you know?
Yeah, glad it's a new trend
For sure.
with metal bands.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't even know. It might just be because we're not listening to the, like, super mainstream stuff anymore, where the mixing is just fucking dog shit. Which, you know, really is kind of so ass backwards. But anyways, yeah, like, I really feel like Thou is giving a damn with how their music is actually balanced out. Like, I can hear the separation between the instruments, the vocals are mixed in there really crisp, and everything's still just, like, heavy as fuck. Awesome.
Yes, sir. And I'm looking at their Wikipedia too while we're talking about it, just like instead of having notes, let's do this. They've been around since like 2005.
Yeah, they've been doing this for a minute. It seems like they have quite a few albums, and I definitely want to go through and check some more out.
I definitely should have by now.
Yeah, right.
Like looking at the album cover, judge a book by its cover. It's good. The album cover game goes hard
Oh, yeah.
on some of them, and then there's a couple where it's just kind of like, whoa, all right.
Yeah.
But when a band has good music and pretty pictures for me to look at, that always makes me really happy.
Right? Yeah, it's just solid all around.
Yes, sir.
Shit fucking slaps.
It's the classic single name metal band name, where it's just some fucking big word that small town people don't know.
I mean, thou is quite definitively not a big word, but I do know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
It is a fancy word.
Fancy word. It's a liberal word.
The Old English. Oh, that's crazy. Good lyrics on here too. That's something I didn't say anything about on the last metal album we talked about this week, but I don't feel like it's just like filler angry music lyrics. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any tracks in specific that you want to like touch on that have good lyricism?
Definitely the second one, because it has kind of a concept to it. It is talking about just like someone being an emotionally manipulative and abusive person. It seems like it takes the perspective of the one who is the, as the title says, emotional terrorist, and I think that it's an interesting concept. And then 2 tracks later, you have House of Ideas, and that one seems to be about how our modern culture, especially in some of the more recent times, it's just like you're struggling because you need to get a job and you need to do all of this and you need to sort of have like a success and conform to how society wants you to be, but at the same time the like grind of it, I guess, kind of kills all of your creativity and it doesn't allow for artistic expression. That's what I was taking away from that one. I do love how the breakdown of this is just the lyric "get a job" and then it's the sickest fucking shit I've ever heard immediately thereafter.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fun fact though, my favorite track is actually track 2, Emotional Terrorist.
Great one.
With the breakdown, the stab. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. Very good moment. I think that that's one of the few moments on here where you can say that it has like kind of a catchy refrain, and when they do that, it's really solid.
Yes, sir, dude.
It really is just something that is gonna kind of take you back a ways. I think that run of the first 4 tracks especially is just like particularly fantastic.
Yeah, and then it's just all good after that too, which is nice.
Right.
They're all good.
It's definitely good thereafter. I do think that it falls off a little bit when they try to do faster songs. When it leans more in a direction of like a faster pace rather than just like the slow, sludgy heaviness. I think that that's when, I would say the weakest part of the album comes in, but those are still good songs and they would still be the best songs on worse albums. I'll say that.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it does fall off just a little bit there, but I still thoroughly enjoyed them.
Yeah. And I will say, even in that regard, the closer is such a good way to end it. And just with all the feedback on that one and just the brutal heaviness of that one, it's such a good way to end it that I would never leave this album feeling unfulfilled.
True. It's a very good sandwich.
Yeah, it's 48 minutes and it's almost impossible not to headbang throughout the whole thing. I did give myself a pretty bad headache doing so maybe don't recommend it, but maybe
I kept playing this one in the car.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Dude, stuck in traffic playing this in the car made me want to blow up traffic.
Yeah.
I kept turning this on when I was like in actual like no moving traffic, which happened a lot this past week too, and the week it came out.
Oh man, that sounds like an interesting environment to turn this on during for sure.
It's just super fucking loud.
Yeah, this is one where I do feel like you can just kind of play it at any setting though, and it'll still give you quite a bit. I think that it's the best if you're just like sitting down, kind of again just like immersed in these gigantic riffs and everything, but
I disagree. I think it's better if you're sitting down in the middle of traffic. Like grenade.
good road rage tunes,
Yeah.
Maybe not the most advisable, but
This is not legal.
This is not legal advice. All right, yeah. Any specific tracks you want to mention?
You mentioned Emotional Terrorist, Siege Perilous, Narcissist Prayer. The first track was my favorite for like my first leg of this album.
Okay.
I don't know why it just fucking was. It's like,
I can kind of get that.
When the breakdown, it's crispy.
Yeah, that one is crispy. It's a decent way to start. I just feel like it's one where this falls into like, that song is a bit too long and it doesn't switch as much as some of the other ones are. Like, there's not that many switches in tone. I wouldn't say it makes me nervous for the rest of the album because I do feel like I'm still gonna like what I get with how that track sounds, but I think that there's much more interesting ones later on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's what I felt after like multiple listens.
Okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. All right, is that our thoughts? Are we ready for scores?
Yes, sir. I give this an 84.
I give this an 85.
Oh, I gave this an 85. Never mind.
Oh, you did?
No, I just want a match.
Oh. We're so close as it is. Yeah.
I know. I can't change my score. It's been locked in for a few weeks now.
Yeah. Can't do it now. Gotta commit. You know what? Honestly, it very recently grew on me. Like this morning, I think I bumped it up 2%. Just because the first track grew on me a little bit, and initially I didn't really like it that much. So did bump it up. I think we would have ended up at an 83 and an 84 before. So it still would have been within 1%, but
yeah.
Either way,
I was just between 3 and 5 so much. That's why it landed on 4.
All right. Well, I think that we're pretty grounded in reality then, because if we're that close to each other, just kind of some checks and balances over here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right.
The $, boy $, with New World Depression.
I feel like Princess Peach Rose gold on my Mercedes. Paranoid, I'm speaking through the blinds without a tweet hat. Locked up in my head like I forgot the coach to keep. Only now I got 1,000 eyes prying at the same mess. Rain check. I take my time, it's called fucking patience.
You know, I'm still kind of wondering if I might even have to censor that because it might sound too much like the real word.
Whoop.
I don't know how careful to be because I'm not worried about getting demonetized, but I am worried about the algorithm suppressing us.
With how this album went, good. There's not even a $9 bill, you fucking idiot.
That's kind of the point. I mean,
I know, that's the joke, because I know that 5ix9ine, they do their thing. I'm aware. I used to listen to these guys back in the day.
yeah, okay.
I used to be a fan.
I do believe they're aware. I do believe they're aware of the 9.
No, it's a joke, because they have a thing where,
The G59 thing, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. You didn't like this?
No.
Not at all?
No, I kind of fucking hated it.
Damn, bro. Really ripping on the rap albums this week. What happened?
It's just these two.
Bro didn't spend enough time in the automobile this week.
Dude, I spent so much time in the automobile this week. This is the first time I listened to for the week, and I was like, all right, I need to give this one the best chance possible, because I'm already going to head in with a negative connotation, and I'm going to be as fair as possible. And it sucked. I hate it.
Really?
I gave it headphone listens, I gave it car listens, did not fuck with this.
But the production is so strong, man. Like, this is such a well-produced album. Like, the beats just sound so nice on here, man. I don't know what you're hearing.
I just don't.
Explain yourself.
No.
No?
No, I'm kidding.
What do you hate about it? I don't think there's much to hate.
I don't like the way they sound. Just fucking, the whole vibe is wrong.
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk.
I don't like the beats all that much. Some of them are produced clean. I meant to fucking point out the ones that were mixed terribly, but there was like one or two
What?
tracks where I was just like,
No, there wasn't.
like,
Fuck off.
yeah.
That is what this album has going for it. The production and mixing is so good. It just...
There was two tracks, I can't remember. I'm looking for them actively, where I just didn't like them.
Okay. I mean, sure, I guess.
But I even tried just going through like the highly rated tracks, see what people were like. I tried to like this album so hard.
I hate that Lone Wolf Hysteria is the second highest rated track. That makes me mad because that one did set up the album for me in a way where I'm like, oh, this is going to be really fucking boring.
I found it. It is on that track. It's at 52 seconds.
Okay.
I don't know why, but something in there just doesn't sound right in my headphones.
All right. Listen. Let me run that one. Hold on. Let me look it up. I don't have anything open right now. Fuck. God, I keep forgetting that my link to YouTube is just this insanely cursed video, and it scares me so much every time.
What the fuck?
Okay. Lone Wolf Hysteria. Let's run it. All right. 52 seconds, you said?
Yeah. Maybe it's just me bugging.
Are you talking about the stretched out note that he does there, like the singing?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I can't describe it. I just hate the way their 808s sound. And that's the whole fucking thing. The whole vibe. I'm gonna keep it real. I hate my opinions on this. I just don't like.
Yeah, I was listening to that and I see nothing wrong. I think you're insane, quite honestly.
Okay, I can be insane on this one.
I mean, I don't have my good headphones on, but...
Oh, this isn't a Green Day situation. Not that bad on it.
Okay, you're not just doing a meme?
No memes.
No memes? I mean, this is an artist you used to like, though, as well. Do you just... Is there a vendetta here? Is there something going on?
Not even. Like...
Not even? Do you still like their old music, though?
I haven't even listened to it, actually. I never thought about it. Let me go back. Let's get my live reaction to an old song.
Let's see.
Alright, hold on. It's gonna load.
What I will say while you're doing that is that as actual rappers on here, like, they don't have a lot to say, and their flows are still just kind of recycled from, like, literally the beginning. They're not really doing anything interesting in their rapping here. I'll say that much. I'll agree with you there.
This fucking slaps.
So you still like the old stuff? Is that what you're saying to me right now?
Let me listen to Magazine too. I had a hot take on a song that wasn't necessarily good. I liked the Magazine EP, I think. Yeah, okay, it's not terribly a hot take. It's got like a 73, but it's called a Radical.
Okay, so all right.
Make sure I still like this. Hold on, I'll see if my hot take still holds up. Oh, dude, this is so good. I might listen to this later and like throw up some ratings. Dude, it's been so long since I've heard them. Oh my god. I don't know.
That is so bizarre because I feel like this is so close.
I didn't hate it though. I'm gonna keep it real. There wasn't a lot of hate. I think there was one track I even think I liked. Like,
This sounds so much like
I think it was the light at the end of a tunnel for $9.99 a month.
that one's just good. Like what? What are we doing?
And I think that was the one track I liked.
What are we? Oh, that was the one that you did like?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, fine, we'll do that. I really like that one, and then the two that follow it were some of my favorites as well. I think that those two are like some of the hardest songs on this, and I think that the album was really in desperate need of some like harder bangers at that point towards the end there, and I think that they delivered. Other than that, dude, the Thin Gray Line, like the production on that one is insane. I love how that song sounds. Look, I don't know if it's just me or if it's just you, but it's just one of us here because something's hitting.
I'm looking at the scores in Apple, not Apple Music, on Apple of the Year. The user score compared to what I have, I think it's me.
Okay. Yeah, if we're gonna compare it to that, then it is also just you because that's almost exactly where I'm at. So we'll run it with that. I don't know. Is there any other songs that you particularly like?
No.
Or disliked? Like, do you have an example of like what you didn't like specifically?
That's the worst part. It just was kind of like ungus bungus. Now my rating's not terrible. I'm in the yellow.
Okay. All right.
I didn't hate. I liked it more than Don Toliver. Okay. I don't know. It just wasn't fucking smacking the way I wanted it to.
That's fair. All right. Look, that's all right. I can compromise with you here because like I said, I do have my qualms with it. I think that they aren't doing anything as rappers that's interesting me that they haven't done a million times before. Like it's still just kind of this like Memphis rapper sound that like that kind of like sort of horrorcore thing, sort of not, where they're saying some really edgy shit and still like just kind of the same flows, and it's kind of doing like the emo stuff here and there with it. I mean, if you really want to hear them as rappers, like the earlier stuff is probably better, but I do think that them on top of some like really clean, really solid production like this was just nice to hear. Are we just ready for some scores at this point, or do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, let's give him the score skis. I gave him a 55.
55. Okay, listen, I thought you were going to be way lower than that because I'm at a 73,
Oh.
and that's not even too far off. Honestly, with how you were saying things, I felt like you were going to be way lower.
No, I think I'm just more mad than anything.
Okay.
Because I really did like it.
So is it a disappointment mad? Is that where you're at with this?
Yeah, because I'm looking back at the discography. I liked a lot of this when I was a kid.
Okay.
It's like the edgy shit that I fucked with you guys. This is our crossover.
Fair enough. Well, then I think we're all good to go to move on to our rankings for the week. Jesus, yikes. We have Don Toliver in last place with a 57%. Moving right along, we have Boys New World Depression at a 63%. And then right in the middle here, right smack dab in the middle, we have 74.5% on Parannoul and Fax Gang's collaboration Scattersun. We kind of just leaned heavily towards the metal albums this week because our second place is Ulcerate's Cutting the Throat of God. Most insane album title, Jesus. 76.5%. And then our top for the week by a pretty decent margin is Umbilical by Thou at an 84.5%. Very slow week as far as like any super big releases, especially considering Thou and Parannoul did not come out on the actual previous Friday. I guess Don Toliver's kind of a big name in the mainstream a little bit here. So that's what we're dealing with. That's our recommendations for the week, or lack thereof. And Micah, do you have anything to say to the people before we head on out of here? That's pretty wholesome, and we'll see you next time.